Just like theater, paintings and sculptures are one of the things that contribute so much in the world of art. And today, I was exposed more in that kind of world. At first, I just couldn't understand them. Each artwork was complicated to me, but they sure are fascinating. I learned that each of them has a story behind, which made me learn to slowly appreciate these artworks. I could say that those artworks were just like me. They're full of mysteries. So let me tell you how these little pieces of sculptures or paintings changed me or made me stronger than I ever was. As I walked inside MCAD, I couldn't really put into words what my reactions would be. I looked up at every artwork and my eyes just lit up on how great the artwork is and how the artist did it. I just like how the artworks looked, and that's it. Not until someone told me the story behind every artwork. That's when I slowly started to appreciate the real beauty of them. I let my eyes explore for a bit, and the first thing that caught my attention was the two big artworks that somehow looked like an abandoned apartment. Both pictures looked sad and dark, but even though it looks so negative, if you look closely on their purpose, you somehow get a glimpse that the apartments were built to be used so that people will live in there, probably start a family, and live there happy ever after. But because of what happened in Europe, everything collapsed. The story somehow woke me up. I don't want to be like those abandoned apartments. I don't want to be in a dark and lonely place. I want my life to have a color. So I said to myself, if I would be an artwork, what color should I be? Well, I don't really know, but I'll make sure it's not black and white. As I explored further, I saw these 12 beautiful artworks. They aren't black and white, but when you look at the people or objects in it, you will get this haunting feeling of sadness. Although they are sad, the paintings are so much beautiful. They said that these people in the paintings are affected by radiation, yet they still stayed in the place where they live, because that's where they were born, that's where they grew up, and that's where they wanted to die. It's like their safe place. I noticed that each of the 12 was well lit. If I could finally have the guts to stand on a stage, I would also want those lights. For me, theater is my safe place. Just like the paintings, there may be negative things that may happen in stage. For instance, stage fright, or simply you can mess up the lines you recite. The reason why I have no confidence to stand on stage. But despite all of these, I wouldn't want to leave it for the world. I was still amazed at the 12 artworks when I suddenly heard a loud noise. I got intrigued and learned that the noise comes from the two computers at the corner. The structure of fear, the sign said. The structure of fear for me is the most fascinating of all. Just by hearing the word fear, it already intrigues me so much. They said that the reason why we need to explore our fear is because we need to conquer it. First step. Identification of fear. I thought of that for a while, and I realized how much this fear affected who I am today. I fear of rejection, I fear of messing up, I fear of getting embarrassed, I fear of not being perfect enough, and so on and so forth. Second step, visualization. And that's when I noticed a small painting with a somehow abstract design. I didn't understand what the painting is about, but by the way I see it, it's actually a visualized fear. If you can visualize your fear, you can see it, you can rationalize it, and you can overcome it. And that's what I always wanted to do, to conquer all these fears that I keep inside. Then that's when I noticed a small sculpture which is identical to the painting a while ago. Then I realized it. Third step, construction. If you construct your fear in your head, you'll realize that it's not even logical to fear it. There's nothing to fear about. I repeated it once again in my head. There's nothing to fear about. I have to admit, I'm kind of a shy person. I conceal my real self to everyone. But once you get to understand the story behind every painting, you'll finally appreciate the real beauty inside.